Welcome back to another Film Geek movie review. In just a bit, I am headed out the door to go check out the new horror film, Scream 7. That's right, folks. They've made 7 of these films. That's what I hear a lot. Like, whenever I'm telling one of my friends the movie I'm going to go see, they're like, hey, buddy, what movie are you going to go do a review on this weekend? I'm like, Scream 7. And this look kind of comes on their face, and they go, they've made 7 of those movies? And I'm like, yeah, and most of them have been pretty good. And this is the first time I've actually walked out the door to go see a Scream movie where I have a bit of hesitation. Now, if you don't know about it, there was some drama that went into the beginning of the making of this film. After Scream 6, there was some things that happened, and I'm not going to go into it because it is a lot of stuff. Well, anyways, all of this drama caused some actors to get fired from the project, some actors quit the project, the director quit the project, blah, blah, blah. And rather than finding new people to fill the roles, finding a new director and all, which they did find a new director, they went with a complete and absolute rewrite. They decided to hit the brakes on what they were doing in the previous 2 movies with the requels and all, and just go right back to the basics of what we liked about Scream, and that is Sidney. That's right, Neve Campbell is coming back to this movie, and it looks like they might be wrapping her storyline up in this one, which, in all honesty, I really hope that's what they end up doing in all this. I really hope they don't try to open up another storyline when it comes to Scream and everything. They tried the requels. It was good. Don't get me wrong. I liked where things were headed, and that's why I'm a little apprehensive going into this, because I feel like we're going backwards in this film rather than moving forwards with what they were doing with the Scream series. And guys, I have said before, I am a huge fan of Scream. I mean, where is he? He's right there. I got Ghostface tattooed on my arm. The man or woman, the thing, is permanently scarred on my body because I like this franchise that much. When I first saw Scream, I was 21 years old. I was back home. I think it was holiday break. I think it came out in December, if I remember correctly. And I went and saw Scream, and I honestly went on a goof. I thought the movie was gonna suck. It looked like it was just another bland old slasher that we've seen tons and tons of times before. I had no idea how amazing the movie was going to be. All of the meta details and everything that went into this film, and I honestly hadn't seen anything like this before going into seeing a slasher, so I fell in love with this series from go. And yes, I am a Scream 3 defender. I don't think it's half as bad as people say it is. But anyways, guys, in all honesty, it is time for me to get going out the door, because as you can see, I'm walking down to the movie theater today. I am not driving to the movie theater, so I decided to have myself a little pre-game beer and maybe a little bit of a pre-game J to walk down there in complete comfort. Well, alright guys, thanks again. I'll be back in just a moment with my review of Scream 7. Welcome back. Just getting home from Scream 7. And guys, I was very disappointed in this movie. If you're going into this film expecting a Scream film that parodies the horror genre and has a lot of witty dialogue and fun, well fleshed out characters, that is not what you're getting when you see this movie. It is just a normal, bland, boring slasher film like anything else that you could have seen on Shudder, HBO Max, Netflix, anything like that. This film did not have the style and flair of an actual Scream film, and only the characters are the only way that you're going to understand that this is part of that franchise. Not that it's trying to retcon anything, it just does not feel like a Scream film whatsoever. So let's get this party started, shall we? We normally start with the negatives, then move into the positives to end the video on the ever so important high note, but it seems I'm already in the negatives, so let's just keep going. So yes, this film is just a boring, bland, by the numbers slasher film, and I would say the most interesting thing about this movie is that the Scream franchise has actually become the monster that it was trying to slay. The final film, which I don't know, man. This is probably going to be the final film. Let's put it that way. The final film in this storyline, or at least Sydney's storyline, was just completely the type of story that this film was trying to parody way back in the first movie. The entire franchise has pretty much gone full circle at this point. Now, there was some things I did like about it, which we will get into the positives, but if you're going into this film expecting something with the flash and style that you expect from a movie like this, you are just not going to get it. And if you also, one of the things you like about the Scream films is the whodunit mystery that you're trying to figure out who in this group of people is the one pecking everybody off. Well, bad news, because there's really not much of a murder mystery in this film. He just kind of shows up at places and just does things and then takes off. He either succeeds in killing somebody or that person gets away from him and they move on to another set place. They never really, except for one part in the film, try to do any kind of investigation into trying to figure out who this person is. It was almost like everybody, all the characters in this, because they've been down this road so many freaking times, they were just like, all right, you know what? We all know how this works, right? We just need to wait around, set a trap or something. The guy's going to show up. They're going to reveal themselves. There's probably going to be more than one. There always is. And we're just going to have to sit and wait for it. And that's kind of what the movie does. They literally try to set up kind of like a honeypot situation. That doesn't do so great. So on and so forth, stuff like that. But they never really try to figure out who the guy is. Now, I will say that yes, Matthew Lillard is coming back. He is in the movie. And I will say, and I'm not going to tell you how he's brought back into the movie, I like the way they did it. It was a modern idea, and I like the fact that they brought it in, and they could have used that to develop into some themes for this movie. Now, each one of the Scream films tries to parody something different. You have the first film where you go into, the slasher genre in general, just a first-time slasher. The sequel, of course, what do you expect from a slasher sequel? That's what kind of things are being parodied in that one. 3, I don't know, something to do with Hollywood. That movie is kind of a mess, but it's super fun. 4, we go into the remake obsession of the 2010s, and I thought they did a good job with that. 5, the requel, stuff like Halloween and that whole new trilogy that came out. Then the second one, the requel, sequel. All of this was great, and it was bringing in different elements of horror of that time period. And this was an excellent moment for this film to tackle different types of tropes in modern horror movies. Like I said with the Matthew Lillard situation, there is other things they could have gone into this to make it the overall theme of the film. There are elements of grief that doesn't go anywhere. There's supposed to be some kind of theme of trauma in this film that really doesn't go anywhere. Generational trauma, mothering type of things, like the fact that Sydney has, had gone through all of these terrible things, and how does she raise her daughter during all of this terrible stuff that's happened to her in her past? Her daughter is the same age as her when the killings happen. Her daughter's 17 in the movie. There's all sorts of great elements that they could have pulled from to lambast in modern horror, and they decided to do none of that. In fact, the movie literally tells you it doesn't do that. The brother and sister duo from the 5 and 6 are back in this movie with Gail, which, let me tell you folks, they serve absolutely no purpose. We'll get to that in a moment. They show up in this movie, and at one point, the sister starts to try to explain the rules of how this stuff works, and immediately the brother shuts her down and goes, "Hey, we don't do that anymore." And that was it. The movie stops worrying about anything meta, any kind of theme, any kind of overall substance, nothing. It's just like, hey guys, this is just about a guy with a knife stabbing people in the gut over and over again. Let's just keep it simple, stupid. But unfortunately, it's a Scream movie. It's not supposed to be kept simple, stupid. There's supposed to be twists and turns. There's supposed to be frenemies, red herrings, all sorts of things are supposed to be going on to throw us off of the scent of the killer. But in this movie, he just shows up wherever they are. If they decide to go go out for a Sunday meal, guess what? Ghostface is going to show up there too. That's just how all of the pacing in this film goes. The pacing, let's get into that, shall we? This movie clocks in at somewhere around an hour, 50-some minutes, and that is entirely too long for what this movie was trying to do here. Now, if you're trying to set up some kind of meta parody or something, yes, you're going to need a lot more time to flesh out the characters and really get that story tight. But unfortunately, we're not doing that in this film. Just a lot of long, drawn-out chase sequences. And the thing that just killed me too, there is no dread, no suspense, no terror, nothing whatsoever. It is so watered down in the scares, it's not even funny. Ghostface literally gives himself up every freaking time he's stalking somebody. So you don't have any element of surprise. Someone goes into a secluded room all by themselves, and then I hear in the distance, clink, 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 clink. Oh, there's someone in there with them. Someone goes up to the bathroom and they hear heavy breathing inside of a shower. I wonder if it's Ghostface. That is the kind of crap this movie does throughout the entire film. That's its idea of filling this movie with dread. Okay, so here's one of the things also that really hit me with the pacing, and again, that was you really feel this movie. Our two brother, sister, and Gail, they felt extremely tacked on into this movie. It was almost like they got a third of the way done filming this movie and then went, oh shit, we forgot all about Gail and some people from 5 and 6 need to show up, so there's some kind of continuity with those movies. Crap. And then like another 20 minutes of movie got added on to this thing. All in all, guys, oh wait, I haven't done positives yet. Jeez, boy, I was ready to wrap this up. Okay, positives. This is probably the most brutal, bloody, and gory of all of the Scream films. There are some pretty decent kills, but without any of that suspense, dread, and all leading up to it, they kind of fall off as flat, even if they are bloody and gory. There's no dread, there's no suspense, there's nothing that led me to feel anything for this character either. All of the characters in this are just completely cannon fodder trope. They didn't try to bring anybody interesting into this movie unless they were somehow attached to Scream in the first place. Alright, so let's actually get into those positives, shall we? The first thing I want to talk about is those kills. Like I said, they were good. They did look pretty good. The practical effects were pretty on point. The acting in the movie isn't bad. Everyone does a pretty good job. They show up. There wasn't any terrible acting. There is some weird, stale acting, but it's not terrible. Everything just kind of came together like an extremely bland, boring slasher film, and that's just not what this franchise is all about. So needless to say, guys, I'm a little frustrated here, and I honestly can't think of anything else into the positives with this movie, except that the kills look good. They were gorier and grosser than some of the other previous films. Yeah, I think I'm gonna end it there. I'm a little bummed out here, guys. Now, in my personal opinion, I would say that this, I mean, come on. If you're a massive Scream fan, you're going to go see this movie, regardless of what I'm saying. You're going to go see this movie in theaters because, you know, you're going to buy the merch, you're going to get the popcorn buckets and all. I know who you are, and that's cool. That's totally cool. But just remember, folks, I warned you. In my opinion, this is a 110% stream it on home, on Shudder, on Paramount. I think Paramount has all of the Scream movies. So check this out on Paramount Plus when it drops on the streaming service. Don't even pay a rental fee for this thing, okay? Just watch it when it comes on a streaming service. Alright guys, that's all I have for you today. Thanks again for checking out the Film Geek. If you liked what you saw here today, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Ring that bell for notifications and give me the old thumbs up so I know you like what you're seeing. And if there's one more thing you could do, folks, that is keep watching movies. You know I'm gonna. Welcome back. Well, if you follow the channel, then you know what this means. There is an end credit scene. Well, it's more of like a third of the way credit scene. Now, it doesn't have anything to do with pushing the franchise forward. It's just some goofy fun that some of our characters are having. That's pretty much all it is. Stick around and watch it if you want to watch something kind of funny come out of this film. Then, yeah. But if you want to watch something that's going to lead to something else down the road, head on out, guys. Thanks again. Have a good night.